Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Rosewater. And in the last episode, guys, while exploring Dr. Clark's lab, we ran into the leader of the Luminaries, essentially a cult who lived pretty close to Dr. Clark's lab. They treat it as holy ground, who believe that the scientist has ascended to an ethereal plane. They seem pretty harmless, at least for now. We haven't got that Kool-Aid bowl out yet. But, yeah, apparently they have gathered a bunch of artifacts from the lab and are protecting them. Now, the only way that we can get past the doorman to see some of these artifacts is to get them something new, and that means we have to get through that door that doesn't have a handle back at the lab. Now, we restored power to the lab, and they're the code. We can put in a certain code to get the door open after a unfortunate incident activating that death ray or whatever it was. But apparently the villagers here, the cult members here, have the knowledge of Dr. Clark, and that's going to be the key to get through that door. And I think I figured it out. Check this out. We need to go ahead and listen to the leader as he's on his pulpit.
And oh, friends, it is joyous. The ether is a realm of pure thought and light and love. There we are freed from these coarse material bonds. There we are not women and men, not young and old, not poor and rich, not white and black and brown. There we exist as pure souls, glittering beings of brilliant rainbow color. Our bodies are as the chrysalides of butterflies, curled up tight in these fleshly shells. Contained within each of us is our true etheric form. And believe me, friends, it is beautiful. You are all so beautiful. In the ether, we must finally emerge from our cocoons and fly free. Free among our soul siblings in the company of the luminous ones. 2 years ago, Evocator Bennett called them here. And 8 months ago, his call was answered.
Okay, so it said 2 years. Oh wow, the diary just updated too. So 2 years ago, what year is it currently?
October 25th, 1850. Dear Miss Legere, thank you for...
Okay, so let's try 1848. He's been saying all the random things like 2 years ago, all of this, and I guess maybe the year that he founded or built the lab is when all of this went down. So let's see if this works. If not, we can just go back and listen. He says random things every single time you listen to him. So let's turn. We tried 8888. I mean, it was worth a try. 1848.
Hot damn.
Nicely done.
Huzzah.
Well, nothing horrible came out, shall we?
After you.
What could possibly go wrong? Oh, all...
Santo cielo.
Yeah.
What in the ether happened in here?
I do not know, but I am not going in any further.
This isn't creepy at all.
These mannequins are disturbingly lifelike. This one's posed like it's reaching for something.
Clark's research involved playing with life-size dolls? Que locura!
This one's just staring at his buddy. This one seems to be the happiest of the bunch.
How can you tell?
It's the only one smiling. This one's missing its head. I wonder how that happened.
I can die happy never finding out.
I'm kind of with Phil on this. There's a lot to look at, though.
I've never seen anything like that before. Have you?
Nope, and I never want to see anything like it again.
He's already checked out completely. Those tomatoes?
Ripe and juicy tomatoes. How can they grow without any soil?
Easy. Devilry.
These squashes look healthy. Some huge green bean pods.
So maybe it was all agricultural?
This pumpkin is thriving, despite being sealed in here with no water or sunlight.
There is something very unnatural about all this.
Cherry tomats. I see the head down there. I think that's probably the artifact that we're supposed to grab.
Ripe and juicy tomatoes. These squashes look healthy. Completely overgrown.
Probably for the best.
Alright, before we pick the head up, let's chat with Phil, because he seems suitably freaked out by the whole situation.
Hey, Phil? Let's talk.
What about?
Nothing, I suppose. Never mind.
Whatever you say.
Oh, alrighty then.
That mannequin's head fell over here and has been wrapped up by a tomato vine. This might be of interest to our friends in Chrysalis.
His name is Yorick. Not what I expected coming in here. I thought there was going to be some sort of experiment, but not to that degree. Goodness. Maybe
I will stay in here.
Are you sure, Phil? With all the mannequins? That wouldn't be my first play. But I'm not going to judge. So now that we have that, do I have something for you, buddy?
Have a look at this.
What? Where did this come from?
Clark's lab. His test room, to be precise.
You were able to get inside?
Sure was. It was full of plants and all kinds of weird equipment. The ethericity seems to have boosted the growth of the seeds somehow. It's like a jungle in there.
I cannot condone your reckless disregard for the sanctity of the laboratory. But I also cannot deny the importance of this discovery. I must alert Emissary Paul immediately.
Oh, and there we go.
I'd better be quick. No telling when that chump might come back.
Yeah, what are we looking at? What are we looking for? Lab notes?
The things some people will keep for posterity, I'll never understand. Lots of extra glassware. Nothing I need. More scrawled nonsense. Why would they keep this?
Okay, search through here.
Nothing but empty vials and flasks. Lots more books, mostly about technical subjects. Nothing that would help me locate Clark's stash, though. Even more books in here. Some novels, poetry books. Nice to know Clark had other interests, but none of this helps.
Okay,
Some old bearded guy. The plaque says Galileo Galilei.
search over here.
Let's see. Books on science, engineering, astronomy, and what's this? Looks like a diary.
I should have known.
Hi!
Get out of here this instant, degenerate! Don't you dare try any more trickery, or Emissary Paul will hear of it.
At least I found what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's true.
I should probably get out of Beardy's sight first.
We have a wrench to defend ourselves. Let's head over here then.
The final entry is bookmarked with a letter. Definitely worth a read. But first...
March 13th, 1845. I'm embarking on a new project, which means a new journal. Here I will record my notes and observations from a series of experiments in the generation and application of etheric energy. I believe it can be profitably harvested from the very air and harnessed for an immense number of beneficial uses. I see the streets of Lamplight City aglow, not with the smoky flicker of flame from burning costly oil, but with bright, etheric light from lamps that never need fuel. I see compact, efficient, etheric engines replacing the bulky and limited diffusion generators that drive Her Majesty's airships. I see our nation's mills and manufactories humming, kept in motion, not with the sweat of the brow or the belching fumes of coal fires, but with the clean, abundant power of aethericity. The applications are limitless. Before they can be realized, I must turn my attention to the practical problem of efficient generation, not to mention safe, reliable storage. Even if energy can be summoned from the atmosphere on demand, some intermediate storage device will be necessary to absorb the excess and release it in a controlled fashion. Absent such a mechanism to modulate the unpredictable flow of raw power, the effects would be akin to cooking one's breakfast by exploding a stick of dynamite. Tomorrow I must visit Cunningham's to order glass tubes and ampoules, as he always takes weeks to deliver. I hope he also has magnetite on hand in sufficient quantity so I can start experimenting with it right away, but I'll try the iron filings first if not. Down to the last spool of copper wire, must pick up more, and I must stop by the offices of the Gazette soon to circulate an advertisement for a new assistant in the weekend edition. Much to do. January 19th, 1846. Some days the work has been maddeningly slow, and some days it seems we advance by leaps and bounds. I am kept too busy to think often of writing in this journal, yet I have made notable progress. I have built the first prototype capable of harvesting ambient etheric potential and channeling it to produce energy, in this instance, heat. There is yet no flow regulation mechanism, so the entire energy field feeds directly into a copper heating element, suspended within a water-filled cylinder affixed with a thermometer. The top is left open to vent the steam which is frequently produced in abundance. In the future, naturally, the entire heating coil steam tube apparatus will be replaced with another assemblage, capable of converting the aethericity into useful energy, to generate light, say, or mechanical motion. The prototype does not appear capable yet of generating heat beyond the material's tolerance. However, I've reached the limits of this particular configuration without hazarding a face full of superheated steam and shattered glass. I cannot say with confidence even now that a random harmonic flux in the atmosphere could not cause a sudden spike of etheric energy that would produce such a result. Now that the principle is proven, we must experiment with introducing a regulator to throttle and control the flow, for both safety and practicality. There remains the not inconsequential matter of funding. It has taken longer than anticipated to reach even this early milestone. Beyond the initial outlay for equipment, I had not accounted for the necessity of covering rent of the old Turnbull Street storehouse, nor the wages of my assistant, Frank, for so long a term. I've already removed from Mrs. Gladstone's modest but comfortable lodgings to the garret over the storehouse, a move which has proved economical as regards both money and time, if rather less satisfactory in the matter of board. I fear I did not give Miss Gladstone's Sunday roast quite the credit I now realize, in want of them, was their due. Despite the savings thereby afforded, my meager reserves will soon be depleted at this rate, unless I can induce a benefactor to relieve me of these pecuniary obligations. November 6, 1846. At Frank's instigation, I have embarked on a program of fortnightly public demonstrations of our apparatus. A brief lecture on the principles of aethericity, followed by a practical display of the generator's operation, is offered to all comers, and as many as will fit within the storehouse, free of charge. I confess that, at first, I regarded this pageantry as a distraction from the work, a senseless bit of spectacle to dazzle the simple tradesfolk and laborers who occupy this district. However, Frank persuaded me that attracting an investor would require some measure of transparency as to my research. And while it's true that most who attend my presentations come seeking thrills rather than any intellectual or financial engagement, putting on these shows has allowed word to spread, and some are beginning to take notice. Last month's published proceeding of the Vespuccian Royal Society of Natural Philosophy contained a mention of rumors of research into the generation of etheric power by a Mr. Clark, of Turnbull Street. I leave aside that they misspelled my name and omitted my title. Not everyone can pay society dues and have their credentials indelibly observed, but they know enough of my work to have it spoken of in those lofty chambers of knowledge and opportunity, and that is what matters. And since they did accurately remark the address of my laboratory, perhaps one or two of these learned gentlemen might be persuaded to visit and see my work for themselves. I shall pen a letter to the Society Secretary at once. Okay, how much longer does this go? Ooh, June 6th, 1847. Bad things happened to Frank. That's unfortunate. So it just, as normal. Bad things have happened. But he bears no formal responsibility for the deaths at the expo. And the new laboratory, Sanctuary of Science in the Wilderness. Small settlement of Rosewater. Okay, let's read this last one. The fools, they have done it. They sliced off their own nose and stamped upon it as they lay bleeding in the dust. For spite. Our Prime Minister, having won re-election in defiance of all decency and good sense, has moved swiftly to deliver on his campaign promises and signed a total and immediate ban on all practical research, experimentation, and development of etheric technology. It's a dark age we live in, and thanks to Leroy and those Laborite technophobes, it will stay that way. It is not yet clear what repercussions will be out here so far from the halls of power. I have no wish to tempt fate, and I have ceased all public display of my work. But will they remember the mad Dr. Clark, the erstwhile wizard of aethericity, and his self-imposed desert exile? Will they come looking for me? Like a scuttling bug, I must keep to the shadows and hope to escape notice. It's the only way forward. One day I hope to deliver the fire of aethericity to man, to lift him up from darkness and keep him in comfort and splendor. For this deed, I can but hope that my punishment will be less severe than that which Prometheus endured. My work continues. I mean, he seems to have good intentions, at least.
February 9th, 1850.
That's only 9 months ago.
Clark, I have a business proposal. Relinquish that dusty laboratory in the middle of nowhere. Come to El Presidio. You may stay in my suite at the Jolly Good Club. My Orem Star membership and military rank afford me certain privileges. You will be furnished with the comforts owing to a man of your intellect and accomplishments.
It's signed L.
P.S. You needn't have any concern for your valuables, as there is ample secure storage in the room. One of the aforementioned perks.
Interesting. Jake will want to see this.
Looks like that might be our next stop. Oh, Lord. Welp.
What in the ether is going on here?
Miss Larkin was kind enough to offer to paint my shadow.
In the altogether?
Well, didn't want to get my clothes dirty.
Besides, I paint the soul. The subject must bear himself and discard all excess.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Jake. I've got something to show you.
So, show me.
I'd prefer to speak in private.
Can't it wait? I'm a mite indisposed at the moment.
It's to do with what we've been looking for.
Ah, well, in that case, excuse me a moment, won't you, darling?
Can we speak in private without your privates, please?
All right, what do you got?
I found Clark's journal. Have a look at this letter that was inside.
An invitation to the Jolly Good Club in El Presidio?
Yep. Check the date.
9 months ago. Ah, nice sleuthing, Harley. Let's round up the others and say our goodbyes. We need to plan our next steps.
Leaving us so soon? But you've only just arrived.
We appreciate the hospitality, but it's time we moved on.
If your journey must continue, then so be it. But we cannot thank you enough for your discovery of Evocator Bennett's etheric cultivator, Miss Leger. Once we relocate and configure the equipment, our crops will surely flourish.
That's great to hear. I hope you'll all be well fed this winter.
Know that you will always find welcome in Chrysalis. Farewell, my friend.
Odd bunch of folks, but quite charming in their way.
There is a strange kind of peacefulness about this place.
That's a fine way of putting it. Anyhow, let's get to the crux of the matter. Harley turned up Clark's diary.
More importantly, I found a letter inside inviting him to the Jolly Good Club in El Presidio. It was dated 9 months ago.
That's right about the time he disappeared, isn't it?
It is indeed. I'd say it's obvious that the good doctor accepted the invitation.
And took his money with him?
Well, it ain't here or in his lab. And what's that postscript in the letter say, Harley?
You needn't have any concern for your valuables, as there is ample secure storage in the room.
Don't get much clearer than that.
Suppose we should start packing if El Presidio is our next destination.
Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First and foremost, we need some transportation.
You haven't got any? Don't you tour around?
Sure, but our show wagon ain't gonna fit all of us.
Plus, we'll need it to store all the show's props and equipment while we're gone. There's that lady in town with a wagon, though. Heard her talking at the saloon once. Said she hires it out to travelers.
Sounds promising. Who is she?
Her name's Lola Johnson. I think she stays in the old blacksmith shop.
Don't!
Lola Johnson, huh?
You know her?
Not personally, but I've heard of her.
We should head back to Rosewater, no?
Yeah, let's get a move on.
Also broke into her blacksmith once.
Right. Harley, I'm putting you in charge of hiring us some transportation. Danny and I are going back to the theater to settle some business. Come get us once you've arranged a ride.
And just how am I meant to arrange it? Financially speaking?
Well, now that may get a mite tricky. Our contract was to pay out at the end of the show's run, but seeing as we'll be breaking that contract, I'm sad to say we'll be forfeiting those proceeds. Anybody else got funds to contribute to the kitty?
Not unless this Johnson woman accepts pesos. And I've few enough of those at that.
I'm afraid I haven't got anything either.
Harley, my dear, I'm afraid we must then prevail upon you to furnish the petty cash needed to get our expedition aloft. Seeing as you're the only other one of our posse who's currently in the position of being gainfully employed. And it goes without saying, but you'll be fully reimbursed once we find what we're looking for. On top of your share. With interest.
I certainly hope so.
Wonderful. Well then, we'll be seeing you later.
What about you two?
I think I'll pay Dr. Sedgwick a visit. It's been ages.
And I owe him proper thanks for his care.
See you in a bit, Harley.
Okay, well, I guess we do need to go and see if our assignment is good enough. We're supposed to write that article on Jake.
Welcome back, Miss Legere.
And it's been a day, Sheriff, and a night.
Hey, Sheriff?
What can I do you for?
Did you ever meet Dr. Bennett Clark?
No, he only came into town every couple of weeks, until the Ethericity ban got handed down. And glad I am of that. I have no use for any of that claptrap. All it does is spook folk, and sometimes blows them up.
Don't suppose you've encountered a group in the valley calling themselves the Luminarians?
The what now?
Luminarians. They claim to be the protectors of Dr. Clark's artifacts. They've got a commune set up near his lab.
Oh, come on now. You're pulling my leg.
I'm serious.
Well, so long as I don't get up to nothing in town, they ain't my problem.
Oh, that's cool. New info on the townsfolk.
Are you acquainted with Lola Johnson?
Not really. She mostly keeps to herself. As long as she don't cause trouble, I'm willing to overlook the squatting.
I saw a lady coming out of the saloon earlier. She was older, fancy looking, sounded old country. Any idea who that is?
Can't say it rings any bells. Wonder what someone like that'd be doing in Rosewater.
Thanks for the chat, Sheriff.
Come back anytime.
The one who was very upset that there weren't any Werther's originals. Well, should we just go into the blacksmith and see?
What do you want?
You're Lola Johnson, right?
Right. Who are you and what's your business?
Name's Harley Leger. My companions and I are headed to El Presidio, and we heard you've got a wagon for hire.
I do? How many are you?
5, including myself.
My fee is 40 crowns up front.
Good lord. I think we have like 20 something?
Your fee seems a bit steep.
My price is my price. I don't haggle. Already been robbed once today. Don't intend to make a habit of it.
Something of yours was stolen?
My pocket watch.
I see. What if I got it back?
I would be incredibly surprised. Unless there's something you know that I don't.
Let's just say I have my suspicions.
You and me both.
I think we're gonna go have to pay a visit to Gem.
I'll come back later.
We'll just go down the line, see what's changed.
Ah, Miss Leger, it's good to see you again. Nadine and Mr. Marquez were just telling me how you all were acquainted. Please do continue.
So this doctor sounds like the guy who voiced Edgar's in Babylon 5, the head of Edgar's Industries. It's pretty cool.
Hey, Phil? Let's talk.
What about?
Are you looking forward to our journey west?
I more look forward to what we will find at the end of it.
Right. Carry on. Nadine, could we have a word?
Of course. Pardon me a moment.
So, how was it working for the good doctor?
Well, he taught me everything I know about medicine. It was especially interesting during the rush. We had no shortage of patients then. I lost count of how many broken bones I set.
Seems we've a big journey ahead. Are you excited for it?
Yes, but also a bit nervous. I've never been beyond this valley.
You'll be all right. We've got a good group, and we'll look out for you.
Thank you. I appreciate your kind words.
I'll leave you to your conversation.
But I'm going to interrupt it one more time to talk to the doctor.
Hey, Doc.
Miss Leger.
Did you ever make the acquaintance of Dr. Bennett Clark?
Ha! Doctor? If that man's a doctor, then I'm Hippocrates.
Shall I take that as a no?
Miss Leger, I do not associate with lunatics and crackpots, especially those who recklessly cause the deaths of innocents. Now, let's not sully the good name of higher learning any further.
Have you met any members of the Luminarians?
I beg your pardon?
They're a community living near the old Clark laboratory.
Oh, those ethericity cultists. Yes, they do make their way into town on occasion. Sometimes the women come to me seeking certain remedies and prophylactics. And I've treated 1 or 2 cases of malnutrition. The desert is a hard place to make a home. Something about the old lab draws in the gullible and deluded. Lost souls searching for meaning.
I'll see you later, Doc.
Do take care of yourself.
I don't think they have to worry about malnutrition anymore, fortunately. Maybe if we get to go back there again, we'll see those dead crops, like, thriving. That'd actually be pretty cool. Okay, let's head back to work here.
Good to see you again.
Excuse me?
How can I be of assistance?
And just ask the entire town about Clark and friends.
Did you ever happen to meet Dr. Bennett Clark?
I have Joni's account of his demonstrations at the theater, but I never saw them myself. Never met the man neither. He wasn't seen much in town.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about the Luminarians, would you?
I have no idea what that word even means.
Never mind then. I'll leave you to your work.
Appreciate it, man.
And this is the old...
That cabinet's better organized than I'll ever be.
Oh, right article?
All right, let's get this thing knocked out. But first... Okay, time to bring home the bacon. The big question, how to open?
Open with an account of the bar brawl. I kind of love that. It is a Wild West show after all.
When this writer was assigned to pen a profile of a Wild West legend, she never expected to become embroiled in the action firsthand. But no sooner had my private audience with Gentleman Jake concluded than a saloon brawl erupted in the barroom of the Jack of Diamonds, and Mr. Ackerman's legendary pugilistic prowess was put on full display. Now the middle section needs to recapture the reader's interest. Let's see.
Yeah, it has to be the interview, right?
A man of many words to match his many deeds, Jake was gracious enough to sit for an interview.
We should have done that the other way around.
He revealed some fascinating and candid details about the life behind the legend. And now for an ending. Mr. Ackerman is a great man, and by his visit to our industrious frontier town, proves that Rosewater is the sort of cosmopolitan crossroads where one might yet meet and mingle with some of the true luminaries of our age. All right, that should do it. Now, what should I title it?
Jack Ackerman. I like the continuing adventures.
The Continuing Adventures of Gentleman Jake. And done.
All right, well, hopefully the boss will like that article, and I think we'll go ahead and hand that off and get her critique in the next episode, guys. I hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.